Wang Lin devours divine retribution lightning with his bare hands, then unleashes mountain crumbles to massacre the Cloud Sea cultivators. The instant those illusory volcanoes emerged, vast streams of origin energy began to gather within them. As Wang Lin moved through the stars, it looked as though an entire chain of volcanoes was following behind him. Anyone who witnessed this scene would lose all composure in shock. Those volcanoes appeared far too real. At first glance, one could tell they were illusions. Yet after a second look, it would feel as though they truly stood beside living volcanoes. Their presence was overwhelmingly real, so real that they could shake the mind itself. The boundary between truth and illusion was enough to unsettle any cultivator below the Nirvana Shatterer stage. Even Nirvana Shatterer cultivators would be affected. After all, this was the first of Celestial Emperor Baifan's final 3 spells. Mountain Crumbles. The rage within Wang Lin's heart had transformed into those volcanoes as he followed behind the mosquito beast. Every mosquito beast carried a unique scent that only members of their own race could detect. At this moment, the mosquito beast's expression was savage and ferocious. The scent of its clansmen was so strong that there was no need to search carefully at all. Just like this man and beast rushed through the star system at incredible speed. After 15 minutes, Wang Lin frowned slightly. The mosquito beast was injured and its speed was too slow. If they continued like this, there was no telling how long it would take to find those who had stolen the mosquito beasts. At the same time, Wang Lin could gradually feel the divine retribution drawing closer. The seal he had formed with the 9 mysterious transformations was beginning to loosen. After all this was outer space, it was unlike the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect Starfield, where endless years of burning had left behind only fire origin energy. Here the origin energy was mixed and chaotic. Even though Wang Lin's cultivation was sealed, origin energy still entered his body. Slowly, it continued transforming the meridians within him. The bodies of Nirvana Cleanser cultivators were refined by origin energy so they could better comprehend the laws of heaven and earth. As he pondered silently, Wang Lin waved his right hand. A crack nearly 5 feet long suddenly tore open before him. The crack did not remain fixed in place. Instead, it moved alongside Wang Lin at the same speed. It resembled a tiny boat gliding swiftly across a boundless sea. The sight was extremely strange. Wang Lin reached his right hand into the crack and retrieved a yellow talisman. With a single thought, the 5-foot crack vanished without a trace. He tossed the yellow talisman onto the mosquito beast. The mosquito beast trembled violently, and then a whirlwind surrounded its body and surged upward into the starry sky. The whirlwind turned earth yellow. As it spun, fierce howling winds echoed out. At the same time, a gigantic bird appeared above the whirlwind and spread its wings wide. The mosquito beast suddenly released a heaven-shaking cry and shot forward like a bolt of lightning. Its speed increased several times over. In an instant, the mosquito beast's speed reached an astonishing limit. Wang Lin stepped onto its back. The beast was now so fast that the distant stars became blurred streaks of light as they passed by. This was the speed of a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. The mosquito beast had never possessed such terrifying speed before. Now that it had obtained it, it let out excited cries again and again. Yet despite the incredible velocity, its body felt no discomfort as it rushed through the stars. At that moment, a group of Alliance cultivators had received orders to withdraw from the battlefield. They were flying through the star system when a violent gust of wind suddenly swept toward them, accompanied by a shrill whistling sound. The wind was so fierce that it instantly scattered the group apart. Their expressions changed drastically as they struggled to steady themselves. What is this? Only after a long moment did they hear the cry of the mosquito beast. The sound itself was far slower than the beast's actual speed. The cultivators' faces turned pale. Fear filled their hearts, and none of them dared to remain. After exchanging glances, they immediately fled the area. With the mosquito beast's current speed, It did not take long to follow the scent of its kin into a starfield filled with drifting rubble. Although this place belonged to the central region, it was extremely remote. There were very few cultivation planets here, and every one of them had long since been abandoned. Because of this, almost no cultivators ever came here. The moment the mosquito beast saw the endless field of rubble, it let out a sharp screech. Boundless fury filled its eyes. It charged directly into the rubble field, producing endless popping sounds. Every fragment of rubble blocking its path exploded apart. The mosquito beast rushed inward like a mad creature. As it plunged deeper into the rubble field, continuous explosions echoed through the stars. Deep within the rubble field inside the green light screen, nearly 100 cultivators were in the final stages of constructing a formation. The two purple-robed elders grew more and more excited. Once the formation was completed, they would be able to transport these giant mosquito beasts back to the Cloud Sea star system. At that time, the Heaven Gate sect would gain enormous benefits from exchanging them. The two elders were in excellent spirits as they conversed with one another. All their worries had vanished now that the formation was nearly complete. Yet at that exact moment, the giant mosquito beasts, sealed by the incense, suddenly began to screech violently. Before this, the incense had kept them completely calm, and it was not just one of them. Every mosquito beast's eyes turned blood red as they began struggling frantically. This sudden change immediately drew the attention of the two purple-robed elders. The cultivators constructing the formation also looked over in alarm. The mosquito beasts had seemingly gone insane. They desperately attempted to break free from the encirclement created by the incense. One of the purple-robed elders' expressions changed as he shouted, "Something is wrong." The elder beside him was about to speak, but suddenly his face changed drastically. He turned around at once. He had heard deep, muffled rumbles coming from the outside of the green light screen. In an instant, the green light screen began flashing violently, causing the entire area to alternate between brightness and darkness. The expressions of the two elders immediately darkened as they rushed forward. Before they even arrived, they heard a harsh screech coming from outside the green light screen. The moment that cry entered their ears, the three youths who had brought back the mosquito beasts began trembling violently. They instantly recognized the sound. It belonged to the Mosquito King beast. "That person actually came," one of them exclaimed. "With the elders here, we may even be able to capture the Mosquito King." The three exchanged glances before immediately flying toward the green light screen. Outside the screen, the mosquito beast moved at unimaginable speed as it slammed furiously into the green barrier. A thunderous roar echoed across the stars. Yet the green light screen was extraordinarily sturdy. It did not move in the slightest. Instead, the mosquito beast suffered the rebounding force and was blasted backward nearly 1,000 feet. If Wang Lin had not weakened the recoil, the mosquito beast would have been heavily injured once again. The mosquito beast was filled with unwillingness. Endless killing intent filled its eyes as it screeched furiously. Wang Lin stood nearby, calmly staring at the green light screen. His expression remained cold and indifferent. He took a single step forward and arrived beside the barrier. Then he slammed his hand against it. The fire origin energy within his body erupted outward. Instantly, a sea of flame surrounded the green light screen. Crackling, burning sounds echoed continuously. Yet the green light screen showed no signs of collapsing. "You overestimate yourself." A sneer came from within the barrier. The two purple-robed elders had arrived. From inside the green light screen, they looked at Wang Lin with eyes filled with disdain. The tension in their hearts immediately relaxed after seeing Wang Lin's cultivation level. Neither of these elders was a Nirvana Shatterer cultivator, nor were they peak Nirvana Cleanser cultivators. They were merely in the late stage of Nirvana Cleanser. After all, they were not true envoys of the Cloud Sea star system. They had only arrived here through a secret method. Wang Lin waved his right hand, and the sea of flames instantly retreated from the green light screen. His gloomy gaze pierced through the barrier and landed directly on the two elders. His voice was cold and heavy as he spoke slowly. "Hand over the mosquito beasts. Hand over those 3 reckless juniors. If you do, I may spare the rest of you." The 2 elders burst into laughter. One of them sneered with ridicule. "I never expected the Alliance to produce someone this arrogant. With your level of cultivation, you dare threaten the 2 of us. What a joke." Although the 2 appeared contemptuous, they remained extremely cautious and did not step outside the green light screen. In their eyes, Wang Lin was not the true master of the mosquito beasts. At most, he was some disciple sent here to lure them out. The truly powerful cultivator had to be hiding somewhere outside the barrier, even though their divine senses found nothing that only made them more suspicious. Wang Lin wasted no more words. He raised his right hand and pointed toward the heavens. Then he took a deep breath and released the seal of the 9 mysterious transformations. His cultivation erupted violently. At that instant, the aura of a Nirvana cleanser cultivator exploded from Wang Lin's body. Endless origin energy surged into him from every direction. As the dense origin energy poured into his body, popping sounds echoed from within him. At the same time, an immense force began gathering among the stars. Divine retribution clouds suddenly formed above the rubble-filled Starfield. In the blink of an eye, the clouds covered the entire region. At the same time, the might of the heavens descended from the clouds and sealed this area away from the rest of the star system. This is divine retribution. The eyes of the 2 purple-robed elders widened in disbelief. Fear instantly flooded their faces. Although the 2 elders were Nirvana cleanser cultivators, they knew very little about divine retribution. The only reason they recognized it at all was because they had witnessed a divine retribution in the Cloud C star system before coming here. The cloud of divine retribution gathered with terrifying speed. It was far faster than any divine retribution Wang Lin had faced before. In the space of a breath, the cloud swallowed the entire Starfield. A deafening roar shook the heavens. From the center of the clouds, a crimson bolt of lightning tore downward. It was as thick as a bucket. Every fragment of rubble in its path crumbled into dust. Cracks spread through space itself, as though the Starfield were on the verge of shattering. The crimson lightning was impossibly fast. The instant its reflection appeared in the eyes of the 2 purple-robed elders, it was already descending upon Wang Lin. This person actually used some unknown method to summon divine retribution ahead of us, one elder muttered in disbelief. The crimson bolt carried heaven-shaking momentum. Ripples spread through the void as it slammed toward Wang Lin's head. Yet Wang Lin's expression did not change in the slightest. As the lightning descended, he calmly raised his right hand and clenched it without mercy. The shocking bolt instantly collapsed beneath his grip. It shattered into countless arcs of lightning that scattered around him. The 2 purple-robed elders gasped sharply. Their eyes filled with shock and disbelief. At that same moment, the 3 youths arrived. The instant they witnessed Wang Lin crushing divine retribution lightning with his bare hand, their scalps turned numb with terror. One of them began trembling uncontrollably. The fear in his eyes reached its limit. Wang Lin remained cold and indifferent. This level of divine retribution was insignificant before him. With ease, he crushed the first bolt. Then he waved his right hand, and the scattered lightning rapidly gathered back toward his palm. In the blink of an eye, red light condensed around Wang Lin's hand. A bolt of lightning twisted within it. His cold gaze swept toward the people inside the green barrier. Instantly, everyone felt a deep sense of dread rise in their hearts. Wang Lin hurled the red light forward. The red light transformed into crimson lightning and smashed directly into the green barrier. The barrier trembled violently, causing the faces of the 2 purple-robed elders to lose all color. He's not an ordinary cultivator. The strength of the green barrier exceeded Wang Lin's expectations. Even a bolt of divine retribution lightning could not break it. If 1 bolt isn't enough, then I'll use 10. If 10 aren't enough, then I'll use 100. Killing intent filled Wang Lin's eyes. The divine retribution clouds rumbled once more. Another crimson bolt descended. But this time it was not just a single bolt. The lightning connected together like a chain. 9 bolts of divine retribution crashed toward Wang Lin at the same time. Wang Lin's expression remained calm, yet madness flickered faintly within his eyes. He smiled. Then he stepped into the sky. Not only did he refuse to dodge, he charged directly toward the descending divine lightning. At the same time, a vortex appeared between his brows. His ancient thunder dragon origin soul rushed out and released a furious roar toward the heavens. The roar of the ancient thunder dragon commanded all thunder and lightning beneath heaven. Yet Wang Lin was the only person who dared to roar at divine retribution itself. The 9 descending bolts paused briefly beneath the dragon's roar. Wang Lin charged straight into their midst. Lightning flashed within his left eye. An invisible suction force erupted from it, and the 9 bolts of divine retribution were forcibly drawn inside. Thunder roared endlessly. One bolt after another disappeared into Wang Lin's left eye until all 9 were completely absorbed. At that moment, lightning flooded through Wang Lin's body. Crackling sounds echoed constantly. Strands of electricity danced around him, making him resemble a celestial god of thunder. Wang Lin raised his head toward the divine retribution clouds above and shouted coldly, "Is this all the power you have?" He did not even realize the terror his actions had brought to those below. The 3 youths were already frightened beyond reason, even in their wildest dreams. They could never have imagined provoking such a monstrous existence. Devouring divine retribution lightning. The faces of the 2 purple-robed elders turned deathly pale. Their pride had completely vanished. They stared at Wang Lin in utter shock and disbelief. In their minds, this white-haired youth had to be concealing an unimaginable cultivation level. When they saw him swallow all 9 bolts of divine lightning, cold sweat covered their foreheads. One elder immediately turned and roared, "Hurry, complete the formation." Quickly, the nearly 100 cultivators in the distance had not been standing at the front, yet they still witnessed everything clearly. Every single one of them was horrified. At the elder's roar, they all inhaled sharply and accelerated the formation process. Even the 2 purple-robed elders rushed back to assist. They no longer cared about maintaining their dignity as elders. They personally joined the effort to complete the formation. Quickly, we must leave this damned Alliance star system. How can there be someone here who can devour divine retribution lightning? The divine retribution cloud gathered once more. A terrifying pressure descended upon the Starfield. Then a purple lightning bolt 10 feet thick fell from the heavens. The power it contained was so overwhelming that the instant it emerged, it tore through space itself and vanished into the void. Yet only 3 inches from Wang Lin, it burst back out of the void and slammed directly toward the space between his brows. Wang Lin roared. Not only did he refuse to retreat, he spread his arms wide and grabbed the 10-foot-wide purple lightning with both hands. Thunder exploded endlessly through the heavens. Yet Wang Lin's body did not move even half a step. Countless residual arcs of lightning surrounded him and crackled wildly. But this was not the end. The divine retribution seemed enraged. More and more purple lightning bolts descended madly upon Wang Lin in an instant. They formed a giant sphere of lightning nearly 1,000 feet wide before him. Wang Lin's body was gradually forced backward by the terrifying power. Yet madness only grew deeper in his expression. He roared toward the heavens. More. The divine retribution above the Starfield released a roar that sounded almost human. Then 7 colored lightning descended. The moment it appeared, it split into 7 separate bolts, each carrying unimaginable destructive force as they rushed toward Wang Lin. The heavens rumbled continuously as Wang Lin retreated further and further back. The giant sphere of lightning before him had already surpassed 1,000 feet in size. The power contained within it was beyond imagination. Even with Wang Lin's control over all thunder and lightning enduring, it had become difficult. Then he saw the divine retribution clouds begin to churn once again. More flashes of 7-colored light flickered within them. Wang Lin moved. Without hesitation, he hurled the enormous sphere of lightning downward toward the green barrier. Everyone inside cried out in terror. The sphere contained immeasurable divine retribution lightning. It possessed enough power to shatter heaven itself. Under Wang Lin's control, it smashed violently into the green barrier. The faces of the two purple-robed elders became utterly pale. Their pupils contracted violently. "Open the formation," one elder screamed immediately. He no longer cared whether the formation had been fully completed. And no one objected. The nearly 100 cultivators all moved into position at once, forming seals with trembling hands. As for the two purple-robed elders, they sat down beneath the descending sphere of lightning. Their origin souls merged into the green barrier in a desperate attempt to strengthen it. The instant their origin souls fused into the barrier, the lightning sphere collided with it. A heaven-shaking explosion erupted. A terrifying shockwave spread across the entire green barrier. Endless lightning poured madly into it. The green light immediately dimmed. The two purple-robed elders coughed blood violently. Terror filled their eyes. One elder's body exploded outright. His origin soul fled toward the activating formation while screaming miserably. Countless bolts of lightning pierced through the barrier and surged within like furious dragons. More than a dozen cultivators seated there were touched by the lightning dragons. Their bodies instantly burned black. Even their origin souls were destroyed without the slightest chance of escape. Under the assault of the lightning sphere, the green barrier could no longer endure. It shattered into countless fragments. An unimaginable impact exploded outward and transformed into a devastating shockwave. The mosquito beast sensed danger immediately and fled at full speed. Its speed was astonishing, so there was no need to worry for its safety. But every piece of rubble within the Starfield turned into dust beneath the shockwave. In the blink of an eye, all rubble vanished completely. Aside from the central region, not a single fragment remained anywhere in the Starfield. Wang Lin charged forward, overflowing with murderous intent and fury after seeing the mosquito beast injured. At the same moment, the divine retribution cloud attacked once more. Hundreds of bolts of seven-colored lightning descended from the heavens and rushed toward Wang Lin. Behind the lightning came a sea of flames. This was the first time flame-like divine retribution had appeared, burning everything in its path. At that exact moment, the formation created from the rubble finally activated. It shone brilliantly like the stars themselves, and a powerful aura slowly spread outward. The heavily injured purple-robed elder struggled desperately to follow the fleeing origin soul of his companion. As long as they entered the formation, they could survive. As for Wang Lin, fear of him had already seeped deep into their souls. Seeing the formation open, several nearby cultivators rushed toward it, hoping to escape through teleportation. But Wang Lin would never allow them to leave. Light flashed within his eyes. A monstrous wave instantly swept through space itself. A power capable of collapsing the void erupted around him. In that moment, countless illusory volcanoes appeared from thin air. A scorching heat wave spread outward. Deep rumbling sounds echoed like the growls of erupting mountains. Killing intent filled Wang Lin's eyes. Then he spoke softly. "Mountain crumbles. Celestial spell mountain crumbles." The instant Wang Lin spoke those words, the countless illusory volcanoes surrounding him began to overlap. One after another, the phantom volcanoes fused together. In the blink of an eye, they became a single mountain. A towering peak appeared before Wang Lin. It looked no different from a true mountain. The mountain rose more than 10,000 feet high, though it did not occupy much space before everyone present. It was like a colossal giant. A terrifying pressure spread across the Starfield. The moment the mountain appeared, violent ripples spread through space itself. Large amounts of shattered stone within the formation collapsed. Then the mountain trembled. Its peak suddenly exploded. Countless rocks burst outward in every direction. Thick black smoke surged into the sky, while dark red flames erupted from the summit. The heat within those flames could erase all life. As the fire spewed outward, it transformed into enormous burning boulders that smashed down without mercy. The cultivators from the cloud sea let out miserable screams as the flaming stones struck them. Their bodies shattered instantly. The flames invaded their flesh and directly refined their origin souls. The black smoke from the volcano carried immense fire poison. It spread through the surroundings like an apocalyptic disaster descending upon the Starfield. Everything looked horrifyingly real. One cultivator had already stepped halfway into the formation and was about to escape. Yet the moment he turned around, terror filled his face. Black smoke instantly swallowed him whole. Before he could flee, a mournful scream echoed out. His body dissolved into black gas and collapsed. Even his origin soul was burned into dust. He vanished completely in an instant. Even the seven-colored lightning exploded ahead of time beneath the black smoke and raging flames. A heaven-shaking thunderous roar swept through the world. Some weaker cultivators managed to avoid the flaming boulders and fire poison, yet their origin souls shattered beneath the thunderous rumble. Blood sprayed from their mouths. The light faded from their eyes and they died. Miserable screams echoed endlessly across the Starfield. But this was not the end. The mountain that spewed black smoke and flames trembled once more. Waves of lava surged upward from within the peak. A scorching heat filled the heavens, and then an aura capable of destroying all things appeared. As the lava spread outward, 7 cultivators nearby desperately attempted to flee. Yet 2 of them were surrounded by black smoke and died agonizing deaths. Another person had only just flown upward when a burning boulder smashed into him. His body exploded into a rain of blood, but beneath the terrible heat, even the blood instantly turned to mist and vanished. They were the fortunate ones. Though death still claimed them, their suffering could not compare to the final 4. Those 4 were slightly slower. They did not even have the chance to escape before the lava crashed into them. The instant the lava drew near, their bodies began to burn. In the end, only black skeletons remained, frozen in the postures they held before death. Those skeletons endured for merely half a breath before collapsing into ashes. As for their origin souls, the lava burned them into complete nothingness. The ones who suffered most were the cultivators with higher cultivation levels. They did not die beneath the first wave of lava, yet neither could they escape it. They could only struggle within the sea of fire, no matter how many spells or treasures they used. Escaping this calamity was almost impossible. Far away, the mosquito beast relied on its astonishing speed and quickly returned. Coldness filled its eyes as it rushed into the mountain Crumbles where its companions remained. Wang Lin's mountain Crumbles had shattered all sealing forces. Around the mosquito beasts, there were no flames. When the Mosquito King arrived, the mosquito beasts cried out sharply and immediately followed behind their king. This swarm of mosquito beasts rampaged wildly through Wang Lin's mountain Crumbles. Their vengeance ran deep as they charged toward a terrified cultivator dressed in yellow. This person was one of the 3 cultivators who had lured the mosquito beasts away. He was the one whose leg had been injured. He had only just avoided a flaming boulder when he suddenly sensed a violent gust of wind behind him. The moment he saw the mosquito beasts, his expression changed drastically. But it was too late. The swarm instantly surrounded him and tore his body apart. Having tasted blood, the mosquito beasts became even more frenzied. Led by their king, they began searching for the other 2 cultivators to exact revenge. All of this happened within an instant. Under the power of Mountain Crumbles, there were no injuries, only death. The elder in purple, whose body had already been destroyed, was filled with terror. His origin soul dodged the flaming boulders and poisonous smoke, while gritting his teeth as he rushed toward the formation. The other elder in purple was equally pale. He ignored the lives of all disciples beneath him and desperately charged toward the formation while avoiding the black smoke. Fear filled his heart. Regret and hatred surged within him. He regretted his greed. He hated the 3 disciples who had attracted those giant mosquito beasts and brought forth this catastrophe. Wang Lin's eyes remained calm, yet he showed these people no mercy. They had dared to covet the mosquito beasts. Then they deserved to pay the price. Wang Lin spread his arms and shouted coldly, "Mountain first, crumble." The moment those words rang out, the mountain shook once again. Massive amounts of rock collapsed into the lava below. The lava surrounding the mountain suddenly surged upward into the sky. At the same time, an unimaginable force filled the starfield. Several remaining cultivators were touched by the lava amid miserable screams. Their bodies instantly turned into black ashes. The faster of the two purple-robed elders had already reached near the center of the formation. Because of the first crumble, countless cracks had already spread across the damaged formation, causing it to release a piercing glow. As the lava surged skyward, the formation could no longer withstand such destructive force. It collapsed. Blinding light erupted outward, piercing through everything nearby. The formation rumbled violently as it shattered inch by inch before completely collapsing. No. Despair filled the elder's origin soul. His entire body trembled uncontrollably as he floated there. Yet because of that brief pause, a burning boulder descended from above and smashed directly into his origin soul. The elder spat out a mouthful of essence origin energy as he retreated. Flames ignited throughout his origin soul, but the danger was not over. The poisonous black smoke transformed into a storm that surrounded him completely. Miserable screams echoed endlessly as the elder used some unknown method to forcefully break free from the storm. His entire origin soul burned with flames. Its light had become extremely dim, as though it might dissipate at any moment. His origin soul resembled the skin of a toad covered in swollen pustules. Inside every pustule was terrifying fire poison. Even within the depths of his origin, soul flames still burned. The elder let out a miserable roar as he retreated. Then he suddenly lifted his head and stared toward Wang Lin. Madness filled his eyes. "If I die, then you will die with me." The old man roared and charged straight toward Wang Lin. At this moment he intended to self-destruct. Violent waves of origin energy erupted from the elder's origin soul, forming a destructive force that surged toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression remained indifferent. The moment the elder approached, Wang Lin raised his right hand and pointed forward. Celestial origin energy flowed through his body and gathered within his finger. "Stop!" Wang Lin's voice was icy. The instant the word was spoken, the elder's origin soul froze for a brief moment. The elder's cultivation was higher than Wang Lin's. Thus, Wang Lin activated his fire origin energy to suppress the backlash from the stop spell. He waved his right hand. With a single thought, the Karma Whip appeared like a dragon and shot toward the elder. A sharp snapping sound echoed out. The destructive aura erupting from the elder's origin soul instantly shattered beneath the Karma Whip. As the whip cracked through space, the elder's origin soul released miserable screams. The madness in his eyes disappeared, completely replaced only by fear. Just as he attempted to retreat, the Karma Whip dragged him directly toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin grabbed the origin soul and casually threw it into the crack, leading toward his storage space. It appeared as though the origin soul had been devoured whole. Everything happened in a single, uninterrupted instant. The remaining elder trembled violently and immediately turned to flee. But how could Wang Lin allow him to escape? Wang Lin raised his right hand toward the heavens and shouted second crumble. "One mountain, two crumbles." That was the limit of Wang Lin's current understanding of mountain crumbles. Compared to Qing Shui's 6 mountains and 12 crumbles, Wang Lin's mastery was still far too lacking. Qing Shui's mountain crumbles could destroy an entire realm. Wang Lin could not yet achieve such power, but destroying these cultivators was more than enough. Had there been no divine retribution, Wang Lin would never have come here alone. But with divine retribution present, then even if these two elders were only late-stage Nirvana cleanser cultivators, Wang Lin would still dare to battle Nirvana shatterer cultivators themselves. As the second crumble descended, all space began to tremble violently. The gigantic mountain shook endlessly while deafening rumbles echoed across the heavens. Then the mountain collapsed completely. Not only the mountain itself, but also the mountain soul formed from Wang Lin's will and celestial origin energy collapsed together. Countless burning rocks scattered wildly. Endless lava and poisonous black smoke erupted outward, covering the entire starfield. If that had been all, it would not have seemed too terrifying. But under Wang Lin's control, every shattered flaming rock, every stream of lava, and every strand of poisonous black smoke gathered together and formed a flowing river around him. At that moment, Wang Lin resembled a god. His white hair drifted through the air, while his cold gaze overflowed with killing intent.